Hi, this is Ryder Keeping It Real, and we are reading through the Bible using the Good News Bible. We're in the New Testament, the book of Mark, and we are up to chapter 4. I'm going to circle back. That's a corporate word. I don't even know if they still use it in corporate America. But I'm going to circle back to the Bible Project just to kind of orient ourselves to where we are in this book of Mark. We are still here on Act 1, Galilee. Jesus is saying who he is. So who is Jesus? We're talking about who he is, all his miracles and what he taught. And then when we get to chapter 8, we'll be moving into Act 2. On the way to where? On the way to Jerusalem. To do what? How he becomes the king when he's in Jerusalem. So we're still on Act 1, who Jesus is. So Mark is retelling who Jesus is from what he learned from Peter. Right? Again, keep that in mind. Mark is just telling what he learned from Peter's teaching. Right? So here we go. Chapter 4. Jesus is still teaching in parables. Riddles is what I call it, but that's what he's doing. So he's teaching, he's talking about the parable of the sower. And most people know this one. Let's see what it says. The parable of the sower. So again, Jesus began to teach beside Lake Galilee. The crowd that gathered around him was so large that he got into a boat and sat in it. The boat was out in the water, and the crowd stood on the shore. At the water's edge. He used parables to teach them many things, saying to them, "Listen." Oh, really? He said it like that? Listen. Once there was a man who went out to sow grain. Remember, these are people that are gregarian. They're moving around in tents. They're growing their own food. They get this. We don't really get this. So we go to the grocery store. But okay. Once there was a man who went out to sow grain. As he scattered the seeds in the field, some of it fell along the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Some of it fell on rocky ground where there was little soil. The seeds soon sprouted because the soil wasn't deep. Then when the rain came up, it burned the young plants. And because the roots had not grown deep enough, the plants soon dried up. Some of the seeds fell amongst thorn bushes, which grew up and choked the plants, and they didn't bear grain. Some of the seeds fell on good soil, and the plants sprouted, grew, and bore grain, and had 30 grains, others 60, and others 100. Then Jesus concluded, "Listen then, if you have ears." Purpose of the parables. When Jesus was alone, some of those who heard him came to him with the 12 disciples and asked him to explain the parables. Rightly so. You have been given the secret of the kingdom of God, Jesus answered. But the others who are on the outside hear all things by means of parables, so that they may look and yet not see. They may listen and yet not understand. For if they did, they would turn to God and he would forgive them. So it's like a gateway, a doorway. Either you're going to hear it and understand it, you can pass through the doorway, or you're not, you're going to go the other way. And if you have the ears to hear it, then you'll understand it. And I'm going to speak to you in this way because I can't come straight at you, because then everybody would understand it. So it wouldn't be a level of discernment, right? So Jesus goes on to explain the parable of the sower. Then Jesus asked them, "Don't you understand this parable? How then will you ever understand any parable?" Like he's saying, this is an easy one. You can't even get this one? The sower sows God's message. Some people are like the seeds that fall along the path. As soon as they hear the message, Satan comes and takes it away. Like these are the people I see like that are in church on Sundays, and they hear the message, the preacher, and at the time they're hearing the message, they're like, "Ooh, that's a good message. He's speaking to me." And then they come home and somebody asks them, "Hey, did you go to church? What you learn in church?" And they can't remember a thing they learned. It's already gone. It's just there was a feeling that they had. The music was bumping, and oh, it was good, but it didn't take root. Satan comes and takes it away. Okay. Other people are like the seeds that fall on rocky ground. As soon as they hear the message, they receive it gladly. Oh, maybe these are the people from the church people. But it does not sink deep into them, and they don't last long. That's like the church people. Sunday is good, but then they don't remember anything about Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. So when trouble or persecution comes because of the message, they give up at once. Other people are like the seeds sown among the thorn bushes. These are the ones who hear the message, but the worries of this life, the love for riches, and all other kinds of desires crowd. I don't think I had my light on. I didn't the whole time. Crowd in and choke the message, and they don't bear fruit. Okay, that can happen to a lot of people. You worried about how you're going to pay your electric bill, right? They're like, why isn't God helping me pay my electric bill? That's what I want to know. So those people are like, yeah, I can't get with your parable right now because I need to keep the lights on. Real talk. But other people are like seeds sown in good soil. They hear the message, accept it, and bear fruit. Some 30, some 60, some 100. Okay. The lamp under a bowl. Jesus continued, does anyone ever bring a lamp and put it under a bowl or under the bed? Does he put it on a lampstand? Doesn't he put it on a lampstand? Whatever is hidden away will be brought out into the open, and whatever is covered up will be uncovered. Listen then, if you have ears. Like I'm getting ready to bring it out. I'm going to let you know. Can't hide from me. He also said to them, pay attention to what you hear. The same rules you use to judge others will be used by God to judge you, but with even greater severity. That's scary right there. Because we are judging others all the time. At least I am. Let me speak for myself, right? That's a scary thing. So even if I'm not saying it, I'm, boom, in my mind thinking it. Like sizing people up immediately. The person who has something will be given more, and the person who has nothing will have it taken away from him, even the little he has. That doesn't seem like it belongs. It seems like, so what I'm reading, honestly, what I'm reading in Mark is like I used to do in college, especially in grad school. I used to put all this information down from different books. Boom, 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 boom. Just cut and paste it anywhere in the Word document. And then when I was ready to actually create the paper I was going to create, I would know where the words came from, what books. I would now slice it and dice it into my term paper, change a couple words here and there, but I'm slicing and dicing and throwing it somewhere I hope it belongs. That's what this feels like to me. Right? That's just what it feels like. Parable of the growing seed. All right. All these seeds planting. I mean, like, I don't even know how to relate this to anything that we do today. We're not planting seeds. We're not growing crops. I had to think about that. All right, the parable of the growing seed. Jesus went on to say, the kingdom of God is like this. A man scattered seed in his field. He sleeps at night, is up and about during the day, and all the while the seeds are sprouting and growing. Yet he does not know how it happens. The soil itself makes the plants grow and bear fruit. First the tender stalk appears, then the head, and finally the head full of grain. When the grain is ripe, the man starts cutting it with his sickle because harvest time has come. Okay. All right. I read that and okay. So what? That's how I feel. The parable of the mustard seed. What shall we say the kingdom of God is like? Asked Jesus. What parable shall we use to explain it? It is like this. A man takes a mustard seed, back to seeds again, the smallest seed in the world, and plants it in the ground. After a while, it grows up and becomes the biggest of all plants. It puts out such large branches that the birds come and make their nests in its shade. Jesus preached his message to the people using many other parables like these. He told them as much as they could understand. He would not speak to them without using parables. But when he was alone with his disciples, he would explain everything to them. Well, that's not fair. What? That's not right. Like, cheat. I'm gonna give you the answer. I'm gonna make you look smart. I mean, haven't you been in situations like that? I have been in situations like that where I'm in a corporate job. Heck, I was even in the police department. This happened to me, where me and this other lady, we were the change management experts in the police department. We were the ones who rewrote the letters for the deputy chief. We were the ones who came up with how the training was going to be implemented, how we were going to work with management so that they wouldn't obstruct the change that we were trying to make. I'll never forget the deputy chief gave the other lady it was me and her, who was helping write the letters and do the training along with me, more information than she gave me. Right? And I would wonder, why did she know that to put in the letter? I was like, every way possible, they gonna cheat. Like, I'm going to give her the upper leg. So, because you're a tiny bit smarter than her, but I want her to look smarter than you. That's what that feels like to me. For real talk. That's what that feels like to me. Like everyday people can't understand these parables you're talking about. But you're going to tell your disciples what the parables mean. But you ain't going to tell the people what the parables mean. Okay. All right. Jesus calms the storm. I mean, hey, this is what I see. On the evening of that same day, Jesus says to his disciples, let us go across to the other side of the lake. So they left the crowd. The disciples got into the boat in which Jesus was already sitting. Jesus was already in the boat. And they took with them, what? And they took him with them. Okay. Other boats were there too. Suddenly a strong wind blew up and the waves began to spill over into the boat so that it was about to fill with water. Jesus was in the back of the boat sleeping with his head on a pillow. I wonder why that was important for him to say that, with his head on the pillow. I gotta go back in the King James on that one. The disciples woke him up and said, Teacher, don't you care that we're about to die? Jesus stood up and commanded the wind. Jesus stand up like, yo, I am tired. I know everything is happening. I created this whole thing, the whole world. What are you doing? Give me some sleep. I'm turned into a man. Y'all gotta sleep and eat and all this other stuff that I gotta go through just to be down here. All right. So he's like, hey, wind, be quiet. He said to the waves, be still. Like, yo, stop it. I got you. So the wind died down, and there was a great calm. Then Jesus said to his disciples, why are you afraid? Why are you frightened? Do you still have no faith? But they were terribly afraid and began to say to one another, who is this man? Even the wind and the waves obey him? Okay. I mean, that would be powerful, right? Like, really, that would be powerful if that were, to happen to you. Like, wow, okay. All right. Jesus heals a man who has evil spirits. Chapter 5. He's still going around healing and doing miracles. We're at the 14-minute mark. How far is it? I got to read at least 2 chapters here. This isn't that bad. So Jesus and his disciples arrived on the other side of Lake Galilee in the territory of Gerasha. As soon as Jesus got out of the boat, he was met by a man who came out of the burial caves there. The man had an evil spirit in him and lived amongst the tombs. Nobody could keep him tied with chains anymore. Many times his feet and his hands had been tied, but every time he broke the chains and smashed the irons of his feet. He was too strong for anyone to control him. Day and night he wandered around among the tombs and through the hills, screaming and cutting himself with stones. He was some distance away when he saw Jesus. So he ran, fell on his knees before him, and screamed in a loud voice, "Jesus, Son of the Most High God, what do you want with me? For God's sake, I beg you, don't punish me." He said this because Jesus was saying, "Evil spirit, come out of this man." So Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" The man answered, "My name is Mob. There are so many of us." Wow. And he kept begging Jesus not to send the evil spirits out of that region. Oh, there was a large herd of pigs nearby, feeding on the hillside. So the spirits begged Jesus, "Send us to the pigs and let us go into them." He let them go, and the evil spirits went out of the man and entered the pigs. The whole herd, about 2,000 pigs in all, rushed down the side of the cliff into the lake and was drowned. I wonder if the spirits drowned with them. Do we think that? The men who had been taking care of the pigs ran away and spread the news in the town and amongst the farmers. People went out to see what had happened. And when they came to Jesus, they saw the man who used to have the mob of demons in him. He was sitting there, clothed in his right mind. Clothed in his right mind. Oh, that is certainly a prayer to stay clothed in our right minds, because that is, we don't want to lose our minds. Not with madness or dementia. We want to have our minds. Most High, please let us stay clothed in our right mind. And they were all afraid. Those who had seen it told the people what had happened to the man and the demons and about the pigs. So they asked Jesus to leave their territory. And as Jesus was getting into the boat, the man who had the demons begged him, "Let me go with you." But Jesus would not let him. He instead told him, "Go back home to your family. Tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how kind he has been to you." So the man left, went all through the 10 towns telling what Jesus had done for him, and all who heard it were amazed. Jairus' daughter and the woman who touched Jesus' cloak. Jesus went back across the other side of the lake. There at the lakeside, a large crowd gathered around him. Jairus, an official of the local synagogue, arrived, and when he saw Jesus, threw himself down to his feet and begged him earnestly, "My little daughter is very sick. Please come and place your hands on her, so that she will be well and live." Then Jesus started off with him. So many people were going along with Jesus. They were crowding him from every side. There was a woman who had suffered terribly from severe bleeding for 12 years. Even though she had been treated by many doctors, she spent all her money, and instead of getting better, she was worse all the time. She had heard about Jesus, so she came to the crowd behind him, saying to herself, "If I just touch his clothes, I will get well." She touched his cloak, and her bleeding stopped at once, and she had the feeling inside of her that was healed of her trouble. At once Jesus knew that power had gone out of him, so he turned around in the crowd and asked, "Who touched my clothes?" His disciples answered, "You see how the people are crowding you? Why do you ask who touched you?" But Jesus kept looking around to see who had done it. The woman realized what had happened to her, so she said, trembling with fear, knelt at his feet, and told him the whole truth. Jesus said to her, "My daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your trouble." While Jesus was saying this, some messengers came from Jairus' house and told him, "Your daughter has died." Why bother the teacher any longer? Jesus paid no attention to what they said, but told them, "Don't be afraid, only believe." Then he did not let anyone else go on with him except Peter and James. and his brother John. They arrived at Jairus' house, where Jesus saw the confusion and heard the loud crying and wailing. He went in and said to them, "Why all this confusion? Why are you crying? The child is not dead. She's only sleeping." They started making fun of him. So he put them all out, took the child's father and mother and the 3 disciples, and went into the room where the child was lying. He took her by the hand and said to her, "Talitha cum," which means, "Little girl, I tell you to get up." She got up at once and started walking around. She was 12 years old. When this happened, they were completely amazed. But Jesus gave them strict orders not to tell anyone. And he said, "Give her something to eat." Let me see how long 6 is. 6 is very long. So we're going to stop there at 5. And I'll start on the picture. Again, I do feel like Mark is, I can sense that Mark is telling the story that he heard. It's not as emotionally driven as Matthew was. It's a different tone, I guess. It is like I'm retelling something I heard. And I don't even know if I'd be saying that if I didn't know that already from reading Haley's Bible Handbook. But it's choppy, like this sea is choppy. But okay. It made it into the New Testament for some reason. I wonder why. You gotta wonder that. Why did it make it into the New Testament? Long pencil. Sometimes the charcoal works. Like the charcoal will work for this because I need it to, but it won't work for the boat because I don't want all that brown into the water, right, into the blue. Yeah, okay, so think about this. I mean, how many of us have a boat? I think about that a lot. Like if I go to like this lake that I go to where people are fishing, and I'm gonna start fishing. I got many fishing rods, but I don't really know how to fish. I mean, I'm not one of those people that I'm just gonna stick the rod in the water. Maybe I should. I want to read about it, figure it out, what's the best time to do it, all of that. But I'm going to start fishing I am going to start fishing this summer. I am. I decided Mother's Day I'm going to go renew my fishing license, which kills me that you have to have a fishing license to go and fish, right? To go and put your rod in the water and get fish out of it. Crazy to me. It's just, ugh. Just one of those things. I hate that kind of thing. Just they're gonna commercialize and make money off everything they can make money off of. Look at this guy right here. Like I'm getting ready to fall in the water, right? That's crazy. I didn't even see him there. Like, ooh. Where's Jesus at? Jesus is here. Just chilling. Like, yo, like I said, what do you want? What is the problem? Yeah. And who is this over? Is this Jesus right here? Who is this? Waves begin to spill over the boat, and there's a great calm. I guess this is after the great calm. This is before, this is after. Is that right? Yeah. Probably. That's why the sun is back here like that. Interesting. Jesus is like, and when I mean, maybe I would be afraid. Maybe I would be afraid. I don't know. I would be more amazed. Like, this guy, and he is the guy. He is the man that we have been reading about in the scriptures that would come, the Messiah, the King of Kings. And I'm sitting here, right here in the boat with the dude. Like, what? How did this happen? What is going on? Like, they're sitting there like, what? You might feel that way, Ryder, because you're reading it 2,000 years later. We like, what? This is crazy. This is scary. I am almost at the 30-minute mark. I don't know why. 30 minutes is kind of like the bewitching number. Like, don't go over that. Whatever you do. Because it'll take you forever to upload the thing. That's a pretty picture. It's going to be prettier once I finish it. But I am going to go ahead and finish the picture while I'm uploading the video. Until next time, it's Ryder keeping it real.